2026 will break Taurus, but not the way you think. It's not about losing stability. It's about realizing that what you call security is actually a prison you built yourself. Other astrologers will tell you 2026 is your year of financial growth and steady progress. I'm going to give you the brutal truth. 2026 is the year you won't be able to use comfort as an excuse anymore. The year the universe forces you to confront the question you've been avoiding your entire life. If you left everything familiar today, who would you be? And without your routine, your possessions, your carefully controlled environment, do you even know? Stay until the end. This will hurt, but you need to hear it. 2026 will test Taurus in 3 ways that will seem cruel but are necessary. First, between January and April, something or someone you've invested years into will reveal itself as a dead end. It could be a relationship where you've given 12 years waiting for them to change. It could be a career where you've climbed for a decade only to realize you hate what you've become. It could be a city you've lived in your whole life that no longer fits who you're growing into. And you'll have 2 choices. Stay because of sunk cost, because you've already invested so much time, so much energy, so much of yourself that leaving feels like admitting it was all a waste. Or finally understand what I explain in the full video. Safe isn't the same as alive. And 2026 is the year you choose between existing and living. Second, between May and August, change will come whether you're ready or not. And it won't ask permission. It could be external, a company restructure, a relationship ending, a health scare that forces you to reevaluate everything. Or it could be internal, a restlessness you can no longer ignore, a voice that keeps saying there has to be more than this. And for the first time in your life, you won't be able to control it. You won't be able to slow it down, negotiate with it, or make it comfortable. You'll have to surrender to the current. And that will terrify you. Because your entire identity is built on being the stable one, the reliable one, the one who doesn't break under pressure. But 2026 will teach you something you never learned. Flexibility isn't weakness. It's survival. Third, between September and December, someone will offer you an opportunity that requires you to let go of everything familiar. A job in another country. A relationship that demands vulnerability you've never shown. A dream you buried 20 years ago because it felt too risky. And you'll want to say no. Every cell in your body will scream stay where it's safe. But there will be a moment, probably late at night when you can't sleep, when you'll ask yourself the question that changes everything. If I met my current life today knowing what I know now, would I choose it? And if the answer is no, 2026 won't let you unsee that truth. You'll have to decide. Live the rest of your life in a prison of your own making. Or break free, even if it means starting over. Even if it means admitting you were wrong to stay this long. Here's what Taurus needs to do to not just survive but evolve in 2026. First, practice micro changes. You don't have to quit your job tomorrow or end your relationship next week. But change one small thing every day. Take a different route to work. Try a food you've never eaten. Say yes to an invitation you'd normally decline. Because 2026 is going to demand flexibility, and if you don't practice it now in small doses, the big changes will shatter you. Every time you choose differently, even in tiny ways, you're rewiring the part of your brain that equates change with danger. You're proving to yourself that you can survive uncertainty. That you can adapt. That stability isn't about keeping everything the same. It's about trusting yourself to handle whatever comes. Second, calculate the cost of staying. Get a journal and write this down. What is staying in this situation costing me? Not just financially, but emotionally, mentally, spiritually, physically. What am I sacrificing to maintain this stability? What version of myself am I killing to keep things comfortable? And then ask, if I left today and started over, what would I gain? Because here's what Taurus never calculates. You're so focused on what you'd lose by leaving that you never count what you're losing by staying. Your joy, your growth, your aliveness. The person you could become if you weren't so terrified of letting go. Write it all down. Look at it. And ask yourself honestly, is this comfort worth the price I'm paying? Because 2026 won't let you avoid that question anymore. Third, set a deadline for decision. This is the hardest one, but it's non-negotiable. Pick one situation in your life where you've been waiting for things to get better. The relationship where you keep hoping they'll change. The job where you keep thinking next year will be different. The city where you keep telling yourself you'll leave eventually. And give it a deadline. 6 months, 3 months, even 1 month. Write it down. Put it somewhere you'll see it every day. And when that deadline comes, if nothing has fundamentally changed, you leave. No negotiations. No extensions. No more waiting. Because waiting is just fear with a calendar. And 2026 is the year you stop letting fear make your decisions for you. 2026 won't be easy for Taurus. But if you do this work, if you practice flexibility, If you count the real cost of staying, if you set deadlines and actually honor them, you'll discover something that clinging to stability never gave you. Freedom. Real freedom. Not the kind that comes from having control over your environment. The kind that comes from trusting yourself enough to handle anything. From knowing that you don't need everything to stay the same to be okay. That you're strong enough to rebuild. Brave enough to start over. Capable enough to create security within yourself instead of demanding it from the world around you. If you want to understand why 2026 will be this way for Taurus, watch my video. Taurus doesn't value stability, they fear change. There I explain the complete pattern of sunk cost prison that 2026 is going to force you to break free from. You'll understand why you stay in situations long past their expiration date. Why change feels like death to you. And why the stability you're clinging to isn't actually safe, it's just familiar. And there's a difference. Are you ready for 2026? Taurus, comment below and be honest. Which of these 3 tests scares you the most? Is it facing the sunk cost of what you've already invested? Is it surrendering control when change comes uninvited? Or is it making a decision with a deadline you can't extend? Tell me, because naming your fear is the first step to facing it. And 2026 is going to demand you face it. Next video, Gemini 2026. The year you finally have to choose which version of yourself is real. Link on screen. If you're Taurus or you love a Taurus who's been stuck for years, share this video with them. Sometimes the truth hurts, but it's the only thing that sets us free. Subscribe if you want astrology without the illusions. Just the truth. See you in the next one.